Hi, welcome to another water cooler chat. It's the first one of the year, so I still always get caught by the delay in going live in different platforms. But I'm Steve Wright, and you're in the spot that I um, carve out in my week and in this social platform just to have a chat with various people in my network and around the place. Happy New Year, and I hope 2025 was good for you or good to you, and I hope 2026 brings all the things that you hope for and wish for. I was feeling very blessed to be able to spend my at least my Christmas, although my New Year was spent traveling, but my Christmas in Jamaica with my mum, and that was super special. We Not only was it just good to be with her, but also my youngest daughter was visiting as well. So it was three generations together, uh, at for Christmas, which was great, and especially after I guess the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, and seeing some of the damage firsthand, it really brought home just how much of an impact it had on had on the island. Even though my mum, fortunately, or her area wasn't as directly affected, but the whole island felt it, from the disruption of infrastructure to just some of the just devastation, trees cut in half, blown, tops of trees being blown away. Literally, the landscape of Jamaica had changed because of this, um, and sort of my heart and prayers continue to go out to those that are still impacted. Some parts still don't have power. Some parts are reeling with all of the rebuilding, and people are being displaced. Communities have been displaced. Churches, schools. It's had a widespread impact, and it's kind of sad how quickly the news moves away from something as devastating as that. But it's the world we live in, I guess. But I'm hoping to have some people join me today. Although it's one of those things where I'm always nervous when I come onto this platform. You press live and you go live, and despite how many times I do it, it still always puts a little bit of butterflies in your stomach, and you're just hoping that people will come in and pop in and say hi. So if you're around and you see this, jump on the link. The link is in the thread. I will. I'm not sure if I can actually. I'll put another link in LinkedIn, as a comment. See if I can get that going while I'm talking to you. And yeah, it'd just be nice to have a New Year's discussion and see what's occurring for folks out there, and would like to find out what you're looking forward to in 2026, and what you learned in 2025. For me, it's been quite a roller coaster is not the right word, but it's been eventful. I think it's probably the nicest way to put it. Um, and let me just put this link in. I can't multitask, so I'll just bear with me a second here while I make sure I've got the right link in there. Um, okay, cool. I just stuck it in there. So yeah, it's been eventful for me. Very much. Um, a 25 was a year um, of growth, and a year of exploring opportunities, and actually a year of celebration. My mum turned 80, and certainly one of my highlights of the year was being able to take her to Paris and to Rome, and that only came about through diligent action. I'm going to promote my 12-week program, the accountable action intensive, which was loosely based on the 12-week year principle. So it was great working with the cohort and people, having people in your corner that um, support you and cheer you in your goal, and that you can be held accountable to, and um, and share that journey with. And certainly, some of my biggest highlights of 2025 came out of just being involved in that group, in that cohort, um, and learning and developing our vision and our identity and our belief, and then executing on that. Has been really an eye opener. So that was definitely a highlight for 2025. And for 2026, I'm looking forward to doing more of the same. I'm excited um, to be kicking off another one. I've got a little note here in there. I'll share it. This is Mariana. Uh, so just share it. Thanks for organizing this event. Happy to leave 2025 behind. And I'm confident 2026 will be amazing as I gain so many learnings, especially on personal development. I'm looking forward for opportunities that are in line with my values. That's great. That's great. Mariana, thanks for sharing. I've got a dear friend, and I hope he's doing well. Paul Deitch. He's a regular contributor to this space. And Paul, if you're listening or dropping in, wishing you a good 2026. But he has a thing that he usually has a word or a phrase that he sort of aligns with the year, and I wanted to take that on. I was like thinking of a word that would sort of encapsulate my intention for 2026. And the first thing that popped into my head was value. Um, Although it's interesting because when I say the word value, it automatically goes or instinctively goes towards money, or the cost of something or the value of something. We place value and give it a monetary value. Um, and then when you put an S at the end of it and say values, then it shifts. For me, at least, it shifts from being something that is sort of financially based to something that is much more, I guess, holistic. It covers more of the things that money can't necessarily buy. Um, and it speaks to what's important to our lives, to our well being, to our community, to our relationships, um, and often sort of moves into areas, our health as well. It moves into areas that um, money can certainly assist and may make things a little bit easier, but it's really not the primary driver. So I think for me, the word that's sticking out or that's coming to mind, popping up for 2026 for me is value, um, and value and values, ensuring that things are like Marianne said, things are in line with one's values, and also uh, ensuring that I I don't have the monetary elements or the financial kind of leaning or bent on what I value. Um, take too much of a highlight. Um, and also creating value for others. I think in this space, or just in what I want to do in the world, how I want to show up in the world is a person who's creating value. Um, and I doesn't necessarily mean it has to equate um, to me making tons of money, or it's about the exchange of monetary value, as much as being able to share, being able to encourage, being able to support and foster those sorts of things. I mean, I saw it a lot in Jamaica. Um, that money can go so far in building and replacing things, and there is a heavy financial cost that the island is taking on just to get itself righted again. To get itself in shape. But we have to make sure that it's there's other values that take into place, caring for one another, having an eye out, being neighborly, um, putting things in perspective that that makes sure that we are. Um, um, I'm just making sure my audio is correct here. Oops, I just lost my screen. Video's just changed. Let's change my video back. There we go. Uh, it's interesting, little behind the scenes there. That's my other camera. Um, but yes, just ensuring that values are in place um, that go beyond just the dollar signs or the Jamaica dollar signs. So that's for me, it's very important. Um, and then, yes, like I said, I actually, I'll sort of tout do a bit of self promotion here. I'm excited for 2026. I'm launching a newsletter, a LinkedIn newsletter that will be out. I'm going to have the first episode out, or first edition out on Friday, called The Authentic Edge. And I'm excited for that. I'll be doing a couple of posts prior to the launch on Friday, just sharing a bit more about what where it came from, a little bit like the water cooler and the drop-in event here. It's really, some of it's just being um, uh, created on the back of my one-to-one thing podcast, where I talk to and have conversations with people from all walks, and how they show up and are valuable in their spaces, and how they create value for others. And we have some great conversations, and there's some real great teaching nuggets from many of the shows, including my mum. I actually interviewed my mum as well, and that was a great show. And I'm sort of synthesizing some of those teachings, and putting them in together into a bi-weekly newsletter, and sort of dovetailing it with some sort of coachable moments, as well as snippets from guests from previous podcast shows over the last year and a half. I think it's about 100 episodes. So it's been really a real journey for me. And I'm looking to do more podcasting. So more podcast shows coming up. I Thank you, thank you, Mariana. um, and it's one of those things whereby I am always looking for guests that have got something to contribute, and I'm not so fussed about the industry. Sometimes people get very narrow with the podcast perception, but for me, it's a matter of having a conversation. And we often in a world whereby we don't converse enough, or um, we don't converse in a way that really supports um, understanding, I think. So for me, it's really important that we get a chance to have those discussions, and just shine a positive light on things that are going on, for ourselves and for others. So if you're interested in, DM me. If you're interested in dropping in, it's very informal. It's very organic. That's the beauty of it. We can have a chat before we go live in a podcast, but essentially, um, it, it's never failed me to just have a quick discussion, and find a connection, and hopefully it comes through in the shows. So check it out. I'll have a link. I'll put a link out. I haven't done it for a while, a link that is, but I'll put a link out to the show, and take a listen, and drop me a line. So that's, I'm looking forward to that in 2026. And what else? I'm not sure. I think, yes, the other thing is I started a new 12-week cohort on the accountable action intensive, and I am excited already in that we are the second week in. I call the weeks are months for me. So it's essentially the first week of the program was January, and the second week of the program is February. So it actually feels good to say that we're already into February into the program, because we get over the January blues and all the resolutions. We're setting actionable and accountable um, goals and objectives and visions that, as a collective, we can all help each other get towards. And for me, that's really exciting. And already I've seen the benefits of working at a speed or a period that allows you to get more things done. If I'm looking at things that would take a month and asking why can't I do that in a week? And sometimes it sounds crazy, but other times it actually opens up more opportunities. It opens up more insights. It opens up more possibilities, when you take that perspective. So for me, it's really good. Like I said, it's already my February in the program, and so we go for 12 weeks. We have a review rest week in between, and then we go again. So um, this cohort's in play. I'll be posting as we go along to sort of snippets and highlights from it, and would love to have people who are interested, keen to move that goalpost, move that needle further and faster in an environment that is supportive, in a structure that works for them. Um, um, then it'd be great to reach out, join the wait list, ask more about it. I'm happy to share and share testimonials with people who have gone through previous sessions. And this is my fifth time round. So 2025 was a year full of those 12-week sprints, so to speak, and it did make a difference in terms of, like I said, making things happen. My trip for my mum's birthday was a direct goal where I wanted to create that value, and even my trip to Jamaica 3 generations for Christmas was again one of those stated visions, a goal for my 12-week session, um, and it made a difference. And often when you set one goal, set a goal in one area, it can't help but sort of impact or spill over into other areas. So I definitely feel like it was a worthwhile exercise all round, and had immense value. So yeah, check us out, the accountable action intensive AAI, and again I'll be posting stuff around that as well. Um, so that's kind of the things that are going on with me. The water cooler, will be still continuing the Wednesday slot. I don't see anything changing for a little while with regards to the Wednesday slot. Obviously, time differences and daylight savings notwithstanding, but pretty much a 4:30 UK time, and 11, I think it's 11:30 Eastern. So hope we get more folks coming in and joining us. But Mariana, thanks for joining us on the on the chat there. I've just been checking that. If you got the link, you're more than happy to come and jump in and say hi. I I know sometimes people are okay um, with the chat rather than being on, and that's totally fine. And I read a very good book about the power of the introvert, and realizing that I'm a bit of an introvert, even though I'm here chatting on a LinkedIn live. I don't know who's watching this and who's going to see the replay. Um, and you may think, oh, he can't be introverted if he's doing all this sort of stuff. But I guess I'm a bit of a closet. I am deep down a very introspective kind of guy. So um, I know people may not want to be on camera when these things happen, and I totally appreciate and respect that. So, but In the absence of any guests coming to join me and chat, um, let me think. I usually have something that's top of mind when I come on here in the event that no one joins me, and that's one of those cases. Um, but I guess with the this oh god, I just realized my banner says Christmas special, so I've got to change that. Then never mind, Christmas is over. Um, is that oh, that's a good question for the comments. When do you stop saying Happy New Year? Um, it's one of those ones that I'm never sure when to do that. And Marianne is joining us. Hey, Marianne, can you hear me? I can't. Yo, okay, she's just taking out audio. Are you there? And
Hear me well?
oh, I still can't. I still can't hear you. You can hear me? Okay. Can you? Are you able to speak? Like,
Yes. I think I figure out this
I'm trying to.
problem. I
I'm
was
trying to.
also on the
I'm
link.
trying to lip read right here.
Yeah, I,
You
I
might.
was hearing two things,
You might have to type. I'm not sure if there's an. Uh,
Can I hear me?
yeah, I could. Um, I'm not sure what you'd have to do. There's a settings button at the bottom. You want to just check your audio.
Yes.
Um,
Is that better now?
it's me. It's me. It's
Ah,
me. You're fine. I had to get it through my deck. I'm sorry. How are you? Nice
no
to meet
problem.
you.
Nice to meet you. I think we met in another event organized, I think, by Laura, if I'm not wrong. It was
Laura.
last year. Laura Troop,
Oh
maybe.
yes, yeah. Oh, okay, great, great. Yes, Laura's a dear friend, dear friend. I need to get her to come in and join me on one of these, and I love her to co-host a water cooler live with me. That would be that
It's a
would
great
be
opportunity. So nice to meet
yes,
you, and thank you for the space. Let's put it this way. I think everything you said about the values, and then you say values. It makes sense.
yes.
And if we think retrospectively, 2025, I think was a challenging year for a lot of people, at
Mm,
least in my network, and not only the close friends, but as well on LinkedIn. I've been chatting with a lot of different people from different backgrounds, different cultures.
hmm.
I don't know what's happening, energetically speaking, or politically, economically,
Yeah.
but it was quite challenging on many aspects. So I don't know. I'm very optimistic. I think for 2026, because we can only hope that it's better, right? So
Yeah, yeah. That is true. And I think we can get caught up in wanting things to be better, and in the wanting things to be better, we overlook the things that were good in the past. And that's not to dismiss where if you're having a bad year. I'm not dismissing you had a bad year, and I hope you get a better one. At the same time, sometimes we can our perspective on our retrospective on something really can affect how we feel about it. I mean, like I said, I've picked out some really great highlights in 2025 for me personally.
oh, but for me
Not
too.
necessarily,
I'm not.
yeah,
Look, I'm
not
not.
necessarily professionally.
And
Yeah,
no. I'm not complaining professionally as well as personally. When I say that it was challenging, it means there were many obstacles that had to be faced, but I did
mm,
face them and even successfully. So this is not me complaining, just saying that I felt that the year was quite. How to say, like a test. I felt it like
hmm.
a test, but in a way I'm happy for everything that happened, because this is where I am today. I
Good,
have many objectives and my positivity is way different than it was, let's say, a few years ago and even last year.
fantastic, fantastic. Where in the world are you, Mariana?
Currently I'm in Dublin, usually in France.
Okay, okay. It looks dark outside. I was just wondering whether you're in a. It is. It's dark. It's pretty dark here now. Carla, Carla, happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Steve, and Happy New Year,
And,
Mariana.
and
Happy New Year.
so give us a synopsis of 2025 for you, Carla. I know you posted and you look
Oh,
beautiful this
wow.
year.
Well, thank you. I must have looked messed up last year then. Thank you, Steve. You've been around
I
Mr.
wasn't
Whiskey
meant
over
that
the
way.
holidays, haven't you? You've been around Mr. Whiskey?
You know,
No, I know you didn't mean it that way. You're my friend and brother, so I could joke with you
yeah.
like that. Um, Last year, first I'll say to God be all the glory.
Amen.
Before, well, I'm gonna go in decent. Instead of going in decent order, I'll reverse it.
Mm.
Anyway, not survived, but thanks be to God, my lungs that had partially collapsed are back out, and my doctor
Amen.
said that's where I was. That's why I'm late. I was getting
Oh,
everything checked out. Yeah, I had some other things going on too, but
yeah.
that is doing much better.
Amen.
I,
Thank you.
I
That's
thought it was just back pain, but I was like,
that's good. Yeah.
no, something else is going on. I need to
Mm.
drive myself to the hospital. And he was like, nope, don't do it. And I knew better. He was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you get somebody to drive you. I caught a
Exactly.
lift. I don't have time to be waiting on people. So I caught a
Yeah.
lift from Stanford to Durham, and
Yeah.
I was right and ended up in the
Mm.
hospital for a week. But that is over with.
Oh, that's
Then
good.
now to the good stuff. Um, I received a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. That I'm still like, did that really happen? I think it did. The book with Les Brown, that is
Yeah.
finally about to be released by my publishing house. We were just on a call yesterday. That's the second one. I ain't never been ordinary,
Mm.
nor have you. My friend Tammy and I have to introduce you to Tammy. She's a
Please.
songwriter, but she does a wealth of other things too. We wrote a book right before Christmas. We said, let's end the year, the fourth quarter in a bang. And we wrote
Mm.
this book, a children's book, our first, together. And the review board with my publishing house loved it,
Oh,
as Forbes would say, as expected. And now we're going to be published authors of a children's book as well. So we're really excited about that.
oh,
Teaching kids
wow.
about confidence and resilience and shining
There
their
you
inner
go.
light. So we're
Beautiful.
very excited about that. So this year, the
I
sky is
love
the
that.
limit. We said we're not playing 2026. We're gonna rock it. We're already starting to rock it from day one. So
Yeah.
I'm excited, and
That's
I'm back.
that's good. Well, yeah. Like I said, when I said you look beautiful, I was recounting some posts where you've been out and doing stuff, and you just look great in terms of
I look
in
rough
yourself.
with the hat on.
No, you look great. No, no. I think there was I mean, it may have been a couple of
With,
Forbes events or something that you were doing, and there was one with you
oh,
and
thank you.
another author, a book that you, another
That's
book that.
Tammy that I have to introduce you
Oh,
to. I've
okay,
been telling her about you.
okay.
I said
Um,
we need some girl power on here.
oh yeah.
Girl power.
I'm all for the girl power, man, because we need the yin and the yang, man. We can't be skewing stuff. It's the it's the imbalance that's causing some of the problems that we're having in the world today. I'm sure.
I agree.
Same.
I agree. Where are
Yeah.
my buddies? Mariana, I'm glad to see you, but where the other two? My
Well,
other two halves.
I know. I think Paul. I did have a quick chat with Paul. Um, I've been in touch with him since the new year. I came back from Jamaica on the 1st of January. So this first week back in the
Oh
UK
wow.
it's been a shocker actually. The weather has been awful, and it's the climate difference is just doing my head in. But so I'm not sure if Paul's able to join, but I haven't. I did have a chat. I had a couple of texts from Mr. Whiskey over Christmas, but I'm not sure what he's up to for the new year. So I will. I'll DM them. I'll DM them straight away, and it's noted that they are missed for sure.
Right. They both are dearly missed. Yes.
um, so Mariana,
Mariana, have you met them?
Not yet, because actually I saw this type of events already last year, right? How many did you manage so far, Steve?
This water cooler is pretty much it's a weekly
It's a
weekly
weekly,
drop
right?
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weekly drop in, and I ping it out to as many invitees as I can on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I just walk up and show up. So
But
no.
that's amazing because it's not the first time I wanted to show, right? But every time there was something weird, busy at work or some other
Mhm.
obligation. So today I told myself, you know what? I really want to make it happen. So I did.
Oh,
Power of manifestation. You know, when you want something to happen, you manage, right? So nothing stops you, which is why I'm here. I really wanted to get to know you better,
great.
to meet new connections on LinkedIn, to learn from each other, to share, because basically, no water cooler, let it go. Let's discuss about what is bothering, or to share something positive, because I think when we are stuck, as you mentioned earlier, Steve, when we think too much on the negative aspects or the obstacles, the challenges, then I don't know, more come, you know. But when we focus on the achievements, even if there are small ones, right?
Mm,
Any small achievement is an achievement at the end of the day. I strongly believe that you attract what you think of. And it's
mhm.
not just words, right? Because, you know, you read the law of attractions and all these books and you say, yeah, right, it won't happen to me until it happens. And when it
That's
happens
true.
once, it will happen again. And then you are like, oh, so this is real. Yes, it is.
Mm,
Basically, you think positively more, and nothing bad can happen when we think positively. But when
mm,
you're stuck too much in negative, I don't know, regrets, anything that is negative, right? How can you develop and grow?
yeah, yeah. We it's
Absolutely.
the term attraction gets a bit of a bad rap,
Yeah,
I
I know.
think,
I use
because
it purposely.
yes, yeah, I know, I know where you're coming from with it, Mariana, but it is interesting because part of me is quite stoic. I'm a quite a stoic kind of person. I like things. I try and observe things as they are, and get an understanding from that. And but at the same time, I do see the power of attraction. I think it's more
Mhm.
awareness of possible outcomes that then sets you up for preparing for those positive outcomes. If you're not aware of something positive, then you can't be prepared for something positive, in a sense, because it's not on your radar. It's not on your radar. If it's not on your radar, what you put on your radar is what you're going to scan. The blips that you get on a radar
That's
screen
true, Steve.
are the things that are on your radar. And if the blips are negative, or pessimistic, or or maligned, then those are the blips that are on your radar. If you set your radar to things that are positive possibilities,
Mhm.
nothing's guaranteed, but positive possibilities, if those are on your radar, then those are the things that you're looking for on your radar. um, the negatives and the obstacles are going to be there, and I love the word obstacle because it reminds me of Ryan Holiday's book, The Obstacle is the Way.
All right.
uh, and beautiful book, again based on sort of a stoic philosophy, where the obstacle is the way. The thing that's obstructing you is the lesson. And a lot of times, sometimes we try and avoid the obstacle, and society might want to put things in our distractions in our way so that we avoid the obstacle, when in actual fact the obstacle is, if, like Carla knows, if God if God puts it to if God puts it to you, he'll get you through it. you know
It's true.
um
It's true.
so
Absolutely.
sometimes the thing that you're being put through is what he wants to pull you through. So that's
Yes, and we just need to start believing more in ourselves, because if if we believe in ourselves, in the power of the universe, let's call it this way, because I strongly believe that everything that happens does happen for a reason, and that's for you to learn, to grow, and to prove to yourself that you can do it. But if you have the faith, if you don't have it, then you see the obstacle and you take it negatively. I'm like, no, but why me?
You're stuck. Yeah.
This general question, like, why me? I'm a good person, nothing bad. I don't want bad things to happen to anyone. Why does it happen to me over and over again? Because you can, because you're strong, because you can.
And it's how you look at it too, Mariana.
Yeah.
It's if you look at it as if one of my coaches, Forbes Riley, says it doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
If you look at it that way, and then instead of obstacles, I look at them as challenges, because when obstacle sounds difficult, okay, I don't know if I can get through this, but a challenge, to me, it opens the brain up to say, hey, I can do this. I can walk through this. It's going to be challenging, but I can do this. Instead of like an obstacle course and an obstacle. But if it's a challenge, it's something different, but I can walk through this, and it happens for me, not to me. Yeah, it makes a difference in the way your brain thinks.
Thanks. I think I like the way you formulate it, because when you look at it like that, it happens for me. You suddenly, your brain unlocks something already written, like it happens to me. No, it happens for me. So we do need to rewrite the way you think. And I think that what I noticed, at least last year, but maybe last 2 years, the more I open up to think positively, the more positive people I attract. So lately, I think around me, I'm like, even having this conversation with you guys, like I feel we speak the same language. While in the past, I felt like I was a lonely wolf in my bubble, in my universe, and I was like, what am I doing? Everything is bad. But immediately after I changed my mindset, like more people came to me, people like me, people who share similar values, similar experiences even, and have, let's say, the same purpose. Not exactly the same, don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean. The purpose with a positive intent at the end of the day. So that's remarkable, at least what I noticed. In the past, I didn't see that, right?
That's it. It's what you put on the radar. I think that's it's where it's tuned to. But yes, it's true. The to you versus for you. For me, it brings in the concept of agency. If it's happening to you, you feel like you're not an agent in that change or dealing with the challenge. If it's happening for you, then it puts you in a different perspective to the challenge, because now you have some agency in there. You've been tasked with something, a challenge to rise to. And when I think of challenge, I always think of the word rise is linked to challenge. You rise to it. And I still remember Carla correcting me from saying that she's not a sickle cell survivor. She's a sickle cell thriver.
I'm a sickle cell warrior and a thalassemia
thriver. Sorry, a warrior.
Right. I'm
a
not
warrior
a patient.
From a survivor.
I'm not a sickler. I'm not a sickle cell survivor. I survived what? I wasn't in a war. I'm a sickle cell warrior.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's the power. That's the power of the phrase. In terms of what it triggers in our perception of something. So kudos to you on that one. That's great. But Mariana, what do you do?
So currently I'm a CFO in south of France for a yachting company, an international yachting company. So we're in the middle of year-end closing, so it's a bit very challenging. As usually this time of the year is. So for anybody working in finance, they all understand what is beginning of January.
Okay. Wow.
Break it on. But if not, all good. I mean, I'm organizing an event at the end of January with three speakers. It's something that I used to do in the past, and I think last event I made was in May last year.
Mhm.
So the leadership series. So last year we were talking about micromanagement,
Oh, okay.
or like to be or not to be micromanagers. So it was quite interesting panel discussion. Now this year we are more on the integrity as the main core value in leadership. We address it to C-suites, to higher management, but also to any person working with people, because we
Yeah.
strongly believe that tone of the top, the voice of the leader, is essential in any organization, right?
Mhm.
So the event is called Courage to Leave. So it starts with courage to leave. So I got a lot of
Mhm.
questions from people interested in the event. Why you say courage to leave and not courage to lead? Well, that's the question, right?
Yes.
Let's
Courage to
come to
leave.
let's discuss it.
Yeah.
Because yes, many people are facing, and I talk about the regular employees at this stage, but not only, are facing toxic workplace.
Mm.
It's a strong word, I know, but we do need to talk more about psychological safety,
Yeah.
about mental health at workplace. Many people that I know have been through burnt out. Myself, I've been twice in my life already in 20 years of work experience. And after the last one, I really promised to myself that I'm learning from mistakes.
Mm.
I do things differently just because my health matters. My person matters. It's, when you ask people why don't they leave from a
Mm.
toxic workplace, the usual answer 90% of the case is I need the money.
Yeah.
Right, I understand. I do. However, the question that I address afterwards is, so when your health is affected, but your physical health, because you don't see maybe on mental health a reaction in your body, because when you see it, it's a bit late. When
Mm.
your body speaks,
Yeah.
we all know what that means, right?
Yeah.
So, and I say, so the money that that company provides, will it be enough for your health to recover?
Mm.
Hmm. So it's strong. I mean, it's a strong question, but we do need to challenge ourselves because basically, why do we accept to stay? Why don't we simply leave? Oh, I need money. Oh, it's hard to find a job. Excuses,
Yeah.
right? It's comfortable to stay in a toxic workplace because the brain gets used so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Therefore, that's your comfort
It's used to
zone, right?
routine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your comfort zone. It becomes your comfort zone. But at the end of the day, um, I just it's a very sensitive topic, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But I do believe we don't speak enough about it. We don't speak enough about it, and a lot of tragedies happen at workplace. And then,
Yeah.
the event I wanted initially to address to employees, right, to give them different perspective solutions, but then speaking to the speakers and to the
Mhm.
speakers, we decided to address it to the leaders because
Yes.
that's actually where we should start the conversation from
Yeah.
leadership.
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on? Why your employees are unhappy? How can you make sure that they feel safe at workplace? And why aren't we hiring the right people at top leadership level?
Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. That
Hmm.
there's a lot. There's a lot that even just when you're sharing a lot of things came into mind. I mean, I'm in the UK now, and I worked in the US as a H1 worker. So I was a visa worker,
Mhm.
H1B, which meant my stay in the US was dependent on my work, and and there are lots of I guess there's lots of maligned perspectives on H1B workers,
Mhm.
especially in the current political climate in the US, in terms of they're taking American jobs and then all this malarkey. Um, I don't believe that's necessarily the case. I think the program I was under seemed very rigorously. It was a lot of work for the H1 worker to be able to work in the US, and you had to be paid appropriately. You paid taxes. You contributed in every way. Ironically, you couldn't benefit. You couldn't take all the benefits, but you paid all the taxes, which is interesting. But all that to say, sometimes you find yourself in a situation whereby it's not just a matter of I need the money. it keeps you in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me think employees sometimes suffer economic. It's almost like economic slavery. That sounds kind of harsh, but it's you're you're economically bound to a workplace,
Yeah.
and that becomes difficult. And then when you flip the script and think about psychological safety in an organization, I've worked for companies in the US that have been toxic and absolutely idyllic. My best and worst companies that I've ever worked for have been in America. And at the top end of the scale, safety was important. I mean, as a manager of a team, it was paramount for me to get the best from my team by being as supportive. You know, that was my primary function, was to support them, because that was the best way to get, one, the right people on board, and two, the right people to stay. And it may have an economic benefit, but it wasn't driven. It wasn't an economic driver at the beginning. It was get the right people, doing the right thing, and being supported in doing what they're being supported in what they're doing. And the other things, benefits and pay, will take care of themselves to a degree once that's in place, because they feel heard, they feel understood, and they feel valued. And those three things aren't reflected in your pay stub, or in your paycheck. It's what you experience within the organization as a culture. So for me, that was really important. So the courage to leave is interesting, because people don't have unions anymore, right? I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, there's some industries that are unionized, where you have a collective.
Yeah, someone.
Yeah. And then, but we tend to move away from that sort of a unionization, which means that the only way individual employees can have agency is when they talk about things that affect them. They have to talk about things that affect them, whether they're unionized or not, because they need to have a voice that says, this place is driving me literally crazy, or is driving me to, sick days. Or you don't leave. There's another thing. The courage if you don't have the courage to leave, you're staying somewhere where you don't want to be, which means you're compromising not only yourself, but you're also compromising the organization that you're staying in.
True.
You're occupying a space that you're not serving the best. You're not giving your best to that position, and I can't hire someone to serve in that position because you're in it.
No, it's true.
So yeah, I mean, I guess
Or they could be doing their best, Steve. They could be doing their best, but they're just afraid to leave. Because I have a family member. She's been at a government. I won't say what state. I won't say exactly where, because she's still there, unfortunately, because she just won't leave.
Right.
And every time I talk to her, I can hear it in her voice when she picks up the phone. Hello, and it's just this deep depressive state. She has the most degrees she has for 25 years. Every time they move her around from a department, she's always the one with the most experience. She's always the one that's the lowest paid. Everybody in her office last year got pay raises. She didn't get one. They said because her position wasn't really up for that. And I said, you need to go to HR. What is wrong with you? And it's like I'm getting upset about it, but she's just like, well, I don't know if I should stir the pot. I don't know. And I said, no, you need to get up and go. Well, she finally did, and they justified it so many different ways. She filed a claim against it and all of this stuff, and they still have pretty much treated her the same way. Then they offered her a position, but then it was going to be a demotion. But then they said, but it would be the same amount of money, but we can make you a supervisor. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I said, you got to get out of there. Yeah. But she's still there. She's still there. I said that should be enough to make you just shut your computer off, pack your bag, and don't go back.
Mm,
She has plenty of leave. She won't use it. I'm like, I would use my leave and just get up out of there and find another job. I said, you'd be better just teaching. Come work for us in my school district. We've got jobs.
mm,
I said, until you find something in HR that you want. But for somebody to be an HR specialist that many years, she really gets dogged out and allows herself to get treated that way.
wow.
And I just don't get it.
Wow.
So you're right, Mariana. You're right.
When
But she is working her hardest. She
yeah,
won't take off
okay. Yeah.
because when she takes off, she's still at work.
Mm,
So she's like, I might as well go to work.
mm,
Even with the doctor's note, they will call her if she says, I'm taking vacation for 4 days. I'm going with my dad. They will call her until they get her to answer the phone.
mm. That's
It's crazy.
different
I
kind
don't
of
I don't get it.
different kind of courage. When is the event, Mariana? Because it's I'm intrigued to.
Yeah. It's,
Look, I will send you both the link if you're interested in joining. It's on 29th of January. It's in the
Okay.
afternoon. It's a 3-hour event. So, Carla, I'm writing your name down as well because I don't think we are connected on LinkedIn, but I just made a
thank you.
note. So, I think you'd be very valuable as a speakers. Like your voice to be heard during the event because it's going to be a conversation. So basically, the speakers are going to share their own experience and give advice
Mm,
because they are as well psychologists apart from being coach consultants and so on and so forth, and one of
mm,
the speakers is a very high experienced CEO. So
right.
we have the voice of a CEO, and we have two people working in business, but as well they have the experience in terms of human psychology because I think it's important, right, to
Yeah.
talk about concepts, different concepts, and to challenge. So on my end, I will be asking the questions. So I'm the moderator of the event,
Mm,
and then they are going to come with solutions. So it's not just share of experience; it's really giving solutions to different, let's call it challenges or situation or
yeah.
cases this that happen at workplace. Now there will be at the end, of course, would like to have at least 45 minutes Q&A. So the participants will have the chance to address questions directly. And of course, before the event, I'm encouraging everyone who said they will join to send me upfront the questions so then I can give to the speakers so they know how to address most of them already in their presentation. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
that's more on me to organize. There is still time for enrollment, but it's going to be limited because if we allow too many people to join, then we won't have the quality,
Yeah.
the time to provide the quality to everyone who is joining. So it won't be like 10,000 people. No,
Yeah.
not that kind of event. It's an event, closed rooms, not a live LinkedIn with
Hmm.
confidentiality. We are not going to record it because I
Yeah.
would like the people, the participants who come to the event to feel free to speak up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not to share
It's
names
good.
of companies, but if they want, they can, because we will provide the confidentiality of what we are going to hear. And ourselves, we can say whatever we would like to
Yeah.
share because it's authentic when it's real, when
Yes.
it's not just a hypothetical example. A friend of mine did that. When it's really, look, this is what happened to me, or this is what I saw in my team, or
Hmm.
concrete examples that bring more sense, because when we speak about from books, from theory, I mean, it has an impact, of course it has,
Hmm.
but I think I relate more to real life examples
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. That sounds great. I mean, it is such a it is such a pertinent topic because it work, the work life balance and that sort of thing. Work is a big factor in our life.
Yes.
It not just an economic driver, but also it sets our purpose a lot of the time. If you're eh, like I said to you, what do you do? If that's the first question you ask for somebody that you meet. You ask them, what do they do? As if I try and I. It's a weird question to ask because I'm not your job title doesn't depict anything about you necessarily. Depending on what in terms of your job. If you're, like you said, you're CFO for a yachting company, that would, if I was to guess your role after the the conversation we just had. We just talked now, and then at the end of the course, and someone goes, what do you think? What do you think Mariana does? I'm gonna. It's so different from the title, and that was one of my things in LinkedIn. I started the one-to-one thing podcast because it was getting beyond the title. I wanted to get beyond the little snippet that someone has under their name in LinkedIn. Because it's nice to have, and I understand every marketer wants you to have the right word under your name. But we need to scratch the veneer a little bit more. We got to get beyond that veneer of this is who I am on a social media platform. To this is how I show up in the world, and I'm always excited when it's like have you seen Willy Wonka, the movie?
Oh, yeah.
It's like I feel like whenever I have an opportunity to scratch beneath the surface with a guest or someone I meet online, it's like opening the chocolate bar and finding a golden ticket. There's always a golden ticket when you take the cover off, because everybody has gold.
You're right.
Right.
So for me, it's super exciting, to have that realization. First time I met Carla through various events, and obviously I'm meeting you for the first time, Mariana. It's just, definitely a golden ticket event. So I would definitely be looking out for that link. And
yes, I will thank both of you. Thank you for the opportunity. And I really hope to see you there, because if you are in the time zone of UK, Carla, yourself, you are living in UK?
No, I'm in the US.
In the US, but no, it's a time zone. It depends. Where are you, on West Coast, East Coast?
Oh, I'm on the East Coast.
It's the East Coast,
Yes.
the same as one of our speakers. So it's at 5 p.m. CET time, because now it's like 1 hour and a half following this hour. So I think you could make it right.
Central.
Yeah, but it's a good hour, because we pick the hour so that the people from United States, for instance, could join, and not sure the Asia might be able to.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
Asia's tough. Yeah, UK will be 10 o'clock. Then you're looking at 10.
No. Now it's what? Now it's UK time.
It's 17. It's 5:25.
It's 5:25. The event starts at 4 p.m. UK time. So
4 p.m. UK. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Then
That's what I think. Normally it should be good for East Coast, right?
Yeah, it's a bit early for West Coast, but
it's a bit early,
morning,
but yeah. So we picked with the speakers this time. We see if it works.
Yeah.
We picked it towards end of January, just because we know many people in finance, especially, and in general also the CEOs are quite tight at the beginning of the January, because holiday season is over. Their inbox is full, so their availability the first 2 weeks of January is definitely not the best one.
There you go.
So yeah, the enrollment is until 15th of January. So we see by that time how many people join. And if too many say yes before that day, we will stop the enrollment, of course.
Yeah.
Now I'm very, very excited, because as I said, I used to do these events in the past. Last year I did my last one, and it's been kind of more than 6 months. I missed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we should speak more about this kind of topics. And I've got some feedback, by the way, from people I know in my network, that I'm too brave to post on mental health awareness. Even because you mentioned that I'm a CFO and you wouldn't have picked up on that, but I'm not even writing that on my LinkedIn title. The word CFO doesn't exist. So I actually write what I'd like to do and what are my passions. So one of them being mental health advocate. Therefore, I do speak up, right, on LinkedIn, and I have the courage. So when people challenge me and they say, but if you're searching for another job and the recruiter sees your profile and what you actually post, they might not really like your attitude. And I'm like, what attitude? Positive attitude?
Yeah.
Like, you want to work in a healthy workplace, so that's not the workplace I want to be recruited for. If it's questionable, if somebody that wants to be in a healthy and safe workplace speaks about that, you don't want to bring that person in an organization. that means that's not an organization for which I want to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's basically it. And people do not like, nor share, nor comment enough on this type of posts. Uh, I do like they are more or less avoiding them, like ghosts on LinkedIn. They comment, like, share some general positive things, that we are all used to hear and see, and we like and
Mm,
share. But when it comes to really tough subjects, as if people are afraid of what? To be seen.
mm.
So it's a pity. It's a pity that we live in a world where fear rule us.
Yes, yeah. Algorithms. That's a whole nother. We're an hour into this call. Algorithms is another topic for another day. Because I'm finishing a book called The Visual Detox.
Oh,
And it's interesting in the sense that,
say
we've
more.
got the digital detox,
Mhm.
but I'm a visual learner, and it is amazing how stimulated we are visually, from ads to likes to buttons to dings and all that sort of stuff. And there is obviously, with social media, there's an algorithmic element to that, in terms of the algorithm will determine the radar that you're looking at, and it's very subtle. um
Yeah,
and before you know it, it's got a full picture of the radar that it wants you to have. um and there was a term that they used in there, something like not blind side, but whereby the algorithm can actually, based on what it's learned about you, can choose not to show you things.
you're right.
It's not
Okay.
it's not because you don't look for that.
Mhm.
If you're into cooking and you look at a cookery site, then it may show you more things about cooking. But if you're a female chef versus a male chef, it may block certain things from you because you're male
Yeah,
and
I see.
into cooking, versus female and into cooking, which to me was like, that's even more sinister. Um, they use fitness. They use an example was women in the fitness industry,
Mm-hmm.
and a bunch of these instructors. Interestingly enough, they were pole dancers. They had fitness exercises around poles, so like the aerial stuff. They changed their gender on their social media posts from female to male, and they got a whole nother set of visuals or things on their posts, on their feeds, that they weren't getting as female fitness people. When they were male fitness people, it was a different set of the algorithm threw other posts to them that they weren't seeing. So you don't even know what you're not seeing. Is
Yeah,
the point. It's one thing sort of going, okay, I go down rabbit holes online all the time, and I try and pull myself out and look for an alternative view, look for the opposite view. I try and post both sides, even if it's not what I agree. I will look for things that I disagree about, in order just to feel like I'm balancing,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's too easy to go down and stick to one side. But in that sense, it's even more sinister, where if your ethnicity or gender or orientation, the algorithm may just say, oh, if you're this, we won't even show you it. It gets scary.
Unbelievable. Thanks
It's
for
like George
sharing.
Orwell's 1984 to me.
Oh,
I kept telling people when I was in college I had to do a presentation in my speech class, and I convinced them to the point where I said, "How do you know that we're not being watched when we're looking at our own TV sets?" And they were like, "Oh, you're paranoid." They had gotten so into what I was saying, they forgot it was just a persuasive speech. I
mm,
wasn't saying I believe that. I was just trying to let them see my point. And
yeah.
now look, when you type something in your phone, the next thing you know, your phone is sending you messages about what you were talking about or what you typed. The phone's not smart.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The classic double speak in 1984 I mean, it's
Yeah.
funny. It's funny how, again, I don't shy away from politics. So I'll state what I'm going to say. It's interesting how many of the sites that are questionable about their truth call their site truth. They put the word truth in their posts, or they name their platform truth, you know. So it's kind of interesting that sometimes the place that the place that is most skeptical to be actually espousing the truth
Yeah.
call themselves truth. And that's double speak from right out of Orwell's book.
One of my
It's
favorite
bizarre.
books.
Yeah, that one at 84 and Animal Farm. Animal Farm was it's a
Oh yeah,
classic.
Animal Farm too. I forgot about that one. Yes,
Yes, yeah, that one.
absolutely.
Yeah, we're in that too. You
Hmm.
know, we othering people, we other people until it behooves us to be like them. You know, oh, four legs good, two legs bad, and then all of a sudden the four-legged animals are standing on two legs. They become the thing that they were othering. You know, so anyway, all that to say there's I think the overarching theme, just to kind of I always wrap up with some of sort of what we to culminate what we talked about. There is a theme that says agency is key. For me, what I'm taking away is from your talk in regard to safety, Mariana, and in just your journey in terms of books, Carla, is that we are we are more powerful than we think we are because we've been provided things by God, for one. I mean, I think there's definitely we don't always tap into our agency and tap into the way we are fearfully and wonderfully made, the way that we can overcome and rise to challenges, um, and the way that we can build the courage to speak up. Courage for me, courage is heart. That's where the word comes from, and to have the heart to speak to a situation, or the heart to call out an injustice, is key. So for me, it's about agency. But I'm looking forward to 26 being a year of value and values. So closing thoughts. Closing thoughts from both of you.
I think I should break the ice, right? Otherwise,
I
I
don't
will be
mind
waiting
silence.
for you.
I'm learning. I'm learning to be okay with silence, even on a live.
No, but I think Carla had issues with her network.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I
think
think
it seems
she's pixelated a little bit there. So
silence is valuable. Maybe closing end on my for me as well, because I do learn every day to listen more. And even though I thought I'm active listener, because I did learn while in taking classes for personal development, especially coaching.
mhm,
So a coach should always listen. But theory is theory, practice is practice, right? But really having the patience to listen to somebody, but really listen to the story, is not very easy exercise. And you need to be willing to want to hear that story, because if you don't want to hear it, you are not able to listen to it. So
mhm,
maybe that's a message from my side. In order to be able to relate more to the people in front of us, it can be a colleague, it can be a friend, family. You really need to care about what's happening to them, right? And you start by listening.
mhm,
Don't listen to the voices in your head, your own thoughts. Wait before you say something to that person, because maybe they didn't finish their story.
mhm. Amen. Amen. Carla, it looks like you're back. You got connection back again.
I think I'm unfrozen
Closing.
now. I heard bits and
All right.
pieces.
Yeah.
I hear I missed some of what
Yeah.
both of you said. Yeah, my
All right.
internet was doing its own thing.
That's okay.
Recap.
Just closing
I think
thoughts
it's
for you.
closing thoughts. I really think it's necessary, the conference that you're about to have, Mariana, and I'm glad you're having it, because people suffer so with so much stress, in the workplace, and they usually do it in silence, and they think that they can't go to anybody. Even they're afraid. A lot of them are afraid to even speak to their family members about it, a spouse or an adult child or sister, brother, sibling, somebody, or outside help with a psychiatrist or psychologist, a professional, a therapist. And then you have people who are suffering every day from depression, or they're suicidal or homicidal. And I really think it's necessary to have a conversation about what everybody knows is happening, but nobody really talks about it. So that's my thoughts there. And Steve, you always give great insight. I'm going to call you Mr. Wisdom. We'll have Mr. Whiskey and Mr. Wisdom. I love hearing your viewpoint. That's why I show up. I make time to show up each week as much as I can. So thank you. Thank you for the opportunity again. And Mariana, it was great meeting you.
Thank you both. And Steve, I'll try to join to as many as possible.
Oh, you know what? Yes, let's definitely do that. I would love to extend an invite to a podcast chat, because I think, again, it's that golden ticket, man. I take the cover off, and I'm always pleasantly surprised and excited, and it affirms the action of showing up each week and doing something like this, you know. So it's been a real pleasure to meet you as well, Mariana. Carla, I look out for the book and the instruction with Tammy. Let's get you back on a chat. I'm going back. I'm happy to go back around to some of my folks. I've got this newsletter kicking off this week. I'm excited about that. Great. The Authentic Edge. And this environment is where the authenticity is the root of that authenticity. We're not playing here. We want to be able to showcase and share things that are important to the world at large. So thank you again. I'll close this out. For those watching on the replay, get the replay. There's some girl power in this one, and I love it.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. All right.
Bye-bye.
All the best.